Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the TMM Podcast with myself, the Mining Miner, and Blader1266. We are but two once again, because Tom's got a social life. We are live on a Friday evening, which is very unusual indeed, but things were happening last night that I needed to blow over, so I couldn't do it then. Let's just say that. But anyway, what have you been up to this week, David?
Let's see, I got Fallout 3.
Nicely done.
I think I got that last week.
Mm-hmm.
I've had. I think I went on a trip
You think?
yesterday. I can't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah, are you one of those people who can't keep track of the days because it's just you haven't got like a routine anymore?
No, my routine's dead now.
Yeah, mine died as soon as I finished college.
And I've just been gaming on Fallout 3. That's basically all I've been doing lately.
Mm-hmm. Actually, wait a minute, I've got to turn this thing off. Well, what I've been doing, I've had a busy all week. On Wednesday, I think it was, I was obviously watching the Google I/O keynote, which is what the topic of today's podcast will be, because there is a crap ton of stuff to talk about. And I've been playing a few games. What have I been playing, you may ask? I can't even remember. One of which last night especially was TF2. I mean games I've bought in the sale. I hope I hope everybody's had a nice Steam sale. Hope it's been good to you. I was playing Banished last night. Banished's pretty good. I really enjoy that. Also, yes, before we begin, apologies for being a little bit late because YouTube Live was acting up, so it wasn't working. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
I said I'm gonna ask you a question about Steam after this.
Okay, go for it.
What do you want me to do now?
What, do you want to ask it now?
I was gonna say, do you know those team things where you could be like different colors, like red, green, and other sorts in Steam?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on red, and do you know those like summer badges things?
Oh my god, red is such a bash, you lucky son of a gun.
I know, I got put on that all of a sudden. I was like, all right.
I'm on green, and I decided to craft the badge yesterday because I've had the cards for a while now. But we were in like last place, so there wasn't really much point. And now we're in third place, so I would have had the potential to win a game. But oh well, you're on the red team, which is winning pretty much every day, except for today, because pink team's actually winning. I love how the thing, because on the first 5 days, I think somebody told me it was Reddit who was trying to make sure each team wins at least once. So it was different teams. So it was purple, red, green, pink, then blue, and then it's just been red. It's probably going to be red for the rest of the sale. Maybe,
I was gonna say, do you know when you put like your card on and craft it?
Yeah.
How do you do that? Because it won't let me.
Well, if you've got all the cards, you can go into your badges, and then it should say craft.
Oh, you gotta have every single card.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you've got to have all the cards.
No one told me this. All I got told was sign up. You'll have a good time. I was like.
I thought it was pretty obvious you have to have all the cards. It's basically like all the other trading card guff. But anyway, I was going to say we can go straight into the stuff about Google I/O, but we can't because I haven't got the document open. I've got a million tabs open because I was going to do a little demo for you guys on the new version of Android because I've got that running on my Nexus 7. But I've tried a multitude of different screen mirroring pieces of software, and it's having absolutely none of it. So it's like, we can't capture your screen. Make sure your device is rooted. It is rooted. I just did that. Even everything else is like, oh yeah, it's rooted. And I even granted it access, so it was like, oh yeah, no problem, you're rooted. And then it was just like, nah, mate. Not having that.
He's like, you want me?
But anyway, Google I/O was such a long conference. It was like two and a half. It was like 2.5 hours long. It was horrible. And the ending of it was like the last half an hour was just really sort of big, in-depth developer stuff, so I didn't really take any notes on that. I just I put at the end of the document a bunch of developer guff, snore, because developer guff. It was all coding, and I understood none of it, which is sort of to be expected for Google I/O. It is a developer conference, but it's also going to have quite a lot of non-developers in as well. So they should take that thing and kind of sort of shovel it off into another event altogether. Well, not event necessarily, but a different sort of show. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we'll skip the facts and figures guff, because it's not really important.
Because it'll probably bore everyone.
Yep. They're launching a new sort of product division, I guess, which is called Android One. And this is essentially it's a set of reference hardware platforms similar to like the Nexus program, but for really, really sort of low-end developing markets. So at first they're going to be working with 3 OEMs in India, one of which is Micromax, and they're saying they can make a dual SIM phone. I don't think there was any specs announced, but it's going to be under $100, which is pretty good. It's going to be running stock Android. Wait a minute. Sorry about that. The apps will be localized for, obviously, the area, and then they will receive updates directly from Google, similar to the Nexus program, which is pretty neat. So they're starting to consider developing markets and try and get them into the tech world, sort of to get them connected to the rest of the world, it's pretty decent. I'm seeing a lot of moves these days to try and get developing countries access to things like internet and technology, and it's what?
Someone's a drunk guy's singing outside. I'm like, what the fuck? I like it. What the fuck is that?
Classic Win Layton. What's this? There's a new toggle. Oh, right.
I've just creeped out by it.
Oh, they must have updated Google Drive. We'll be talking about that later, but we'll talk about that later. So, the main version of Android, L released developer preview. That's what I'm running on my Nexus 7, and it's minimal, to say the least, especially in the front end, but there's a lot of back end stuff. So, oops, that's the wrong way around. I can't unlock it. So, first things first is the, you'll probably not be able to see because I've got my big light on. There we go. So that's the launcher there. You can't see it, obviously. But yeah, that's the Google Now launcher. Luckily, I'm thinking that maybe they've got something built in, like they've got the Google Now launcher built in, but this isn't the one that goes on the Nexus 7 automatically. Because there's two devices that can have the developer preview on, the Nexus 5 and the Nexus 7. The Nexus 5, it gets the Google Now launcher by default, which is a lot nicer than the normal one. But the Nexus 7 gets the crappy launcher by default. But if you install from the Play Store, then it'll run the Android L version of the Google Now launcher, which is a bit weird. One big gripe I have with the new launcher is that they've unified everything in... I can't get the angle correct. There we go. They've unified everything into one sort of notification shade, so you've got to pull down again to get your quick settings, which is just utterly stupid. Like, it used to be, if you pull down from the left, you'll get your notifications. Pull down from the right, you'll get your quick settings. But now, you have to pull down once to get your notification, then pull down again to get your quick... And then half the time it doesn't work. There we go. So they've unified it, and it's annoying as hell. And they've taken a lot of quick settings out, so what you get now is basically your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, aeroplane mode, notifications, rotation, location, and there's an option to cast screen, but that's not going to be available until the next version of the Google Play services, I think. So that'll be handy, because they're finally including Android casting to Chromecast, which is it's really something they should have included from the start, but they didn't, which is a little annoying. What else is there to say about this? The animations are a lot nicer. So the animations make a lot more sense. Like, for example, if you have an app, there we go.
Having it.
There we go. So if you've got an app, I'm gonna make sure it's in shot. There we go. Ultra professional. If you have an app, but when you close it, it'll move it down, rather than just sort of making it disappear. The sort of philosophy behind this is that nothing just teleports in, except for the fact that there are a couple of elements that don't have proper animations yet. So the animations are really, really nice. And I think I'm going to set myself a challenge. Although this is a developer build, I'm going to see if I can use this for a few days just to get a better idea as to sort of what it is and how it works. So one nice thing as well...
what it's like and everything.
One nice thing about the Nexus 5 version is that, I don't know whether it's just an emergency dialer, but you can sort of get the dialer straight from the lock screen. I'm assuming it'll just be an emergency one. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. They've updated things like the Roboto font, so all the writing looks a little bit more refined. The touch feedback's very different as well, because typically with Android, you'll touch an element, and it'll just sort of flash momentarily, whereas this, it sort of ripples out, and it's quite pretty. They used very gaudy colours with the examples in the keynote, and it wasn't very nice. But
at least it wasn't puke yellow.
Actually, it was. Some of the bits were. It was like bright pink and bright yellow and really horrible colours. But the main philosophy behind the new version of Android is something called material design, which is essentially, as you've probably seen over the past year or so, companies have been going for a much more flat look. But Google's like, oh, why don't we make things that float above the surface? So each element sort of has, you can make it have depth, and it's easy enough to control as a developer, because literally just change a thing, and it will automatically put shadows in. It looks really good, but it's a very stark difference from what other developers are doing. Trying to find anything else. Oh yeah, enhanced notifications. This is actually, have I got any notifications on my lock screen? There we go. So rather than just having them in a notification shade, you get the notifications sitting happily on the lock screen there, so you can actually see them at a glance. Unfortunately, if you've got a passcode on like I have, it doesn't actually show you them. It'll say what it's from, but then it'll be like, oh, you need to unlock your device, which is a little bit of a nuisance. Another thing that they've done is, well, that's similar to iOS, and the next bit is as well, which is heads-up notifications. So that's similar to iOS, where you'll have sort of like a banner pop down from the top, and you can interact with the message or the call straight from the app you're in, which is actually pretty neat. One feature I haven't been able to try out yet to see if it actually works is the authentication, which is the main difference is that obviously you've still got your same old authentication methods like your PIN, your password, your pattern, your face unlock, but now you can get it so it's set if you're in a certain location, it'll not challenge you for your passcode, or if you're nearby to a Bluetooth device, say like a smartwatch or a mobile phone. So
yeah.
I mean, if you do that, it'll be like, okay, right, I'm right next to my owner, so I don't have to challenge for the passcode, which is convenient for some. I don't think I would use it in daily life though, because I would like, the only useful thing would be like, oh, don't use it at home, but then every Tom, Dick, and Harry could come in and pick my tablet up and go on it. So that's why I have a passcode on it. It would be rather stupid because it's never really very far away from me anyway. So it would just be like not having a passcode on at all. So did you actually see any of the Google I/O conference?
No, not really.
David.
I didn't know what was going on. I was busy.
Oh, God damn it. Alright, well, another big change that they've made is more of a back-end thing. They've changed what's known as the runtime, which is essentially the whole thing that it runs in. It used to run on a thing called Dalvik, which basically processes things as they need to be processed, whereas they're now running in Art, which is something that will process things beforehand. So, supposedly it's meant to increase performance. I haven't really seen that yet, so I'm not really noticing it. But Art it's supposed to double performance and handle memory better than Dalvik did. It's also 64-bit compatible, so we can start getting 64-bit processors in phones, even though it's completely and utterly pointless. Project Volta. This is another thing, because they tend to have Android tend to have different projects for different versions. So Jelly Bean, it was Project Project Butter, I think it was. Yeah, it was Project Butter in Jelly Bean to help smooth the user experience. It was Project Svelte in KitKat. I know, was it? Yeah, that was in KitKat. And that helped improve memory efficiency. And now they've got Project Volta in Android L, which is supposed to help improve battery life. I mean, the only real device I've noticed really bad battery life on is my phone, because that's running CyanogenMod, and it's a nightly version, so it's nowhere near stable, so the battery usage is just really, really bad on that. But I haven't really noticed any battery issues with my Nexus 7, so I don't see why they've had to really, really focus on battery life. I mean, yes, for other devices maybe, but not for the Nexus devices. Battery Historian, this is good, because previously the battery monitor in Android has been awful. Like, it'll give how long, like, say you've had your device on Wi-Fi, and how long the screen's been on, and how long it's been on charge. And then it would give you percentages of how much apps were using battery, and that meant absolutely nothing. Like, if I go in now, I can guarantee you there will be at least one of these two, Android OS and Android System. And maybe Google Play services. Actually, I don't know whether it'll be on this one, because this has obviously got the new one. Battery. Then this might have battery historian. Oh no, it doesn't have it yet. So yeah, it's very, very basic. Oh Jesus, you can't see it because it's a much lighter UI now. There, Android OS, Android System, screen and miscellaneous. So that doesn't help me at all. It doesn't. It's just.
So I've got percentages on mine, saying how much it's taken from the battery.
Yeah, but that doesn't really mean anything. I mean, it'll show you what's using battery, but it's just stupid. So this will give you a lot more in-depth battery statistics. So it'll show you when a device is waking up the phone, what it's doing, when it's doing it, and all that. So it's really quite good. It's a lot better than what we get at the moment. They've finally got a native battery saver mode as well, which will underclock the CPU, so it's using less power, and it'll take the refresh rate of the screen down. So obviously, the less the screen's refreshing, the less battery it'll use. So this is pretty good, especially if you're running on really low battery. And I don't know whether it's something that'll initiate when you get to a certain battery level. For me, I hope it doesn't, because I don't really care about my battery, because as I said, it doesn't really get anywhere near the bottom of the range anyway. Contextually aware, this is interesting. It'll know when you're in sort of different scenarios, like when you're at home you'll want to know this information, and when you're at work you'll want to know this information, which is similar to what Google Now does at the moment, but it's going to be a lot more contextual, because Google Now just gives you a laundry list of information without any context to it. Well, mine doesn't give me any information, because it's like, oh, you need to turn your location services on, and I'm like, they're on. And then it used to give me like loads of different technology articles, and I used to have a good read through them, but it doesn't give me those anymore for some reason. So yeah, Google Now is pretty much useless for me, but the better context will help people who are a bit more out and about and are a bit more active on their devices. So it... Oh, this one's a good one. If you've already heard of what Samsung's doing to help with business use and sort of the bring your own device revolution, with Samsung Knox, it's basically a concept whereby you can keep your personal and your corporate data separate. So Android's going to have this built in now, and this has actually got contribution from Samsung and Knox, so it's going to be similar to that. So you'll be able to use the same device for both work and home, because as they said, oh, you don't want to carry two devices. What else have we got? It's coming out sometime in the autumn. They haven't got a concrete release date yet, but coming out sometime in the autumn. And oh yeah, Google Slides is also available for Android now as well, so you can do essentially PowerPoint presentations. So, have you got any thoughts on that?
I think it's canny to do that, really, because the power presentation thing, I think that would be easier. Yeah. Like to access if you go anywhere, really. And like you don't use a different computer, of course. Everything else, yeah, I like it. I think it's good.
Yeah, it's very samey for the most part, but there are a lot of bigger differences. And the thing is, they said supposedly that in the new version of Android there are 5,000 new APIs for developers, which is absolutely mad. Chrome, I didn't understand half of that, so we'll leave that. Google Play Services, this part of the conference was very much focused on the whole malware thing, and well, it was two things, malware and stolen devices. So there's automatic malware checks on everything that goes onto the Play Stores to make sure obviously you're not getting viruses on your Android device, which is actually a very, very real threat. I think I've got Lookout antivirus on mine, so yes, you have to have an antivirus for your Android device. So let's do automatic malware checks on everything on the Play Store and some external apps, which is quite interesting. Because I didn't think they'd bother, because with those... Actually, I was just going to say they wouldn't bother with those because it's the user's own fault then. But then they're probably getting calls from them saying, oh, I've got a virus on my Android device, this is all your fault, because of users who don't know what they're doing. So they're probably trying to combat that, so they have to put less into customer services. Not you, for once. You don't infect your phone. You infect your laptop and everything else with viruses, yes, but not your phone, luckily.
The phone is the only thing that I will keep safe.
I've just exploded like
precious.
right now.
I was like, shit.
No.
I know what I would do if it did explode.
Mhm.
If it exploded, I would have ran through that door and I'd be like, hey, coming back.
Uh-huh.
Who knows what will explode?
Yeah. Well, Google I/O was very much based around the whole Android ecosystem, rather than having it as just as an enclosed operating system on phones and tablets. So the next thing in the ecosystem, which we saw a preview of a couple of months ago, I think it was, is Android Wear. Now, this is very interesting. It's essentially a smartwatch operating system, which is basically Google Now plus your notification center. It's simple, but that's what makes it good. So it does things like the OK Google.
It says it like Google Glass, but
no, it's more like Google Now, which is the software on here. So if I unlock this, it's got the same functionality. So say if I have my tablet here, I go, OK Google, there you go, and it starts doing the voice activation. Obviously, I'm going to cancel it because I've got nothing to search for. So it can pick up when I say that. So that'll be handy. So you can just essentially talk to your watch. It'll be great for usability, but if you're in a public place, it's going to be annoying because say everybody in a bar's got an Android Wear smartwatch on, and somebody just goes, "Okay, Google," and it's going to go bleep 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 bleep, and it's going to be quite annoying. What else was there? Oh yeah, notification sync. This is interesting. So if you dismiss a notification on your watch, then you will also dismiss it on your phone. Now, I want them to include this with sort of between Android phones and Android tablets because I am sick and tired of having my phone bleeping at me on the other side of the room because I don't use it anymore because I've got my tablet. So if I dismiss a notification on my tablet, I want that to be dismissed on my phone as well. So if they could make that, that would be brilliant. Because I'm sick of having to dismiss it on both devices. Huh?
Mine nearly gives me a heart attack.
Well, what I've done is I've just switched my phone on to silent and turned the notification light off because I'm not going to bother with it anymore. So it'll only turn the screen on every so often.
Because the thing is, the notification sound, and I can't change it, is like horror music. It freaks the fuck out of me.
You should be able to change it in the sound settings.
I tried that, it didn't work.
Is it because you got your stupid launcher on? Because it'll probably be the launcher overriding it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Please.
So yeah, another thing, support for square and round displays. They also showed off the Moto 360, which looks very nice. But it's more Moto 320 because it's got a big F-off gap on the bottom. Because instead of having a bezel all the way around, they just put a big sort of chunk at the bottom, which makes it look less than circular. But it's circular enough. It is a really, really nice device. I'll see if I can find a picture of it. Moto 360.
I'm trying to follow this list, and the thing is, yes, every part.
Should I click where I'm on at the moment? There you go.
Yes.
All right. So if I switch to here, there we go. So that's the Moto 360, and it is very nice because it actually looks like a watch, unlike every other smartwatch ever, which really, really doesn't. So it's really nice. I might I say I might get one, but then they're far too expensive. I think because there's two more. There's the LG G. I hate the LG naming scheme. It's the LG G Watch. Why? LG. What is the G?
GG.
Why do you need the G?
Good game, watch. Good game.
Don't need the G. Like the LG G Watch. LG G. It's annoying. I hate LG. And then the Samsung Galaxy Gear Live. So rather than running on Tizen, which is Samsung's software, it'll obviously be running Android Wear. So that's the LG G Watch. I hate that so much. What?
Imagine if it was 2022 and it's like, here comes the LG. It's like so long. Everyone's like, no. Fuck it, I ain't calling it that anymore.
The conference takes like 10 days because they've got to pronounce all the G's every time they talk about the product. So yeah, the G Watch, I'm not going to include the LG bit, so we'll just go G Watch, and the Samsung Galaxy Gear Live are both available on the Play Store right now. One thing that baffles me, though, is that in the US, the G Watch is more expensive than the Gear Live, but in the UK, the Gear Live is more expensive than the G Watch. Which is weird, because I swear the G Watch is like $200, and the Gear Live is like $200. 220 and 200. There we go. Just trying to think through. Whereas in the UK, they don't put prices on up front, do they? Because I don't know. The G Watch is £160, which is a swindle, and the G Watch is £169. So yeah, that's weird. Just have different prices. I'm assuming it's just different conversion rates because of the different companies, but I don't know. So, unlike... Oh no, don't say my internet's going to start crapping out. Please. Thank you. Anyway, what were you saying?
I was going to say, do you know how it says the LGG? How it gets really irritating?
Yes.
And I know I'm bringing this back, I know. Anyway, why don't they make it easier and just say the LG, like, and we'll put a number there. Just put a number there.
Well,
at least. So they don't have to keep on putting so many J's.
Because if it was... Because they've got... The main products they've got is the LG G2 and the LG G3, which is their phones, and the LG G Pad is their tablet. So, just saying like 1, 2, 3, 4 wouldn't be descriptive of the product, so they'll be like, oh, I've got an LG 67, and everybody will be like, what the hell's that? It's a phone, or it's a tablet, or it's a watch. It's not very descriptive of the product. I mean, the thing with this naming scheme, it does what it says on the tin. LG G Pad, it is a tablet. LG G Watch, it is a watch. So it does what it says on the tin, but it's annoying to say. At least it's shorter than what it would have been called, because if they still used their old branding, it would be like the LG Optimus G Watch. Because these use Optimus all the time, and it was weird. What else have we got? Can dictate notes to the wearable. They say... You can't just say watch, but it's wearable, because they're insinuating that you can use it on something that isn't a watch. So you can dictate notes to it, and they'll be saved into Google Keep, which is pretty cool. You can't answer calls on the wearable. You can't talk through it like the Galaxy Gear, where it's got like the earpiece in like the bottom of the clasp on the wrist, so you can be like hello and look like an idiot. So you can't answer calls on it, but you can decline the call, or you can send an SMS response, which is pretty nice. You can activate Do Not Disturb mode easily, which would be handy for my phone because then it doesn't shut the hell up. You can control music from it, which is a nice handy little feature, so you don't have to keep getting your phone out and changing music. Built-in step counter and heart rate monitoring on certain devices. So I'm assuming the Gear Live will have that because obviously the normal Galaxy Gear watches have a heart rate monitor built in. I'm assuming this one does as well. I'm not sure though. You can get turn-by-turn navigate. Are we still on Android Wear? Yes. So turn-by-turn navigation when you're on foot, which is nice. Contextual reminders. This is interesting. Like, it can sort of analyze your habits. Like, for example, if you order food all the time. One of the examples was a service called Eat24, I think. Essentially, the guy ordered pizza using his smartwatch, which was just mad. Lyft integration, which is some carpooling service in America. So you can essentially say, oh, get me a car, and then it'll be like, okay, I will send a car to your location. So it'll send your GPS location off to wherever. That'll send a car, and then you can get in the car, it'll have the person's name and everything, and you can pay them through Google Wallet on the watch, which is really, really nice. So the G-Watch and the Gear Live are available now, but the Moto 360, which is the better one, is going to be available later this summer. So I'll probably not be getting one because they're expensive as all hell. But yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I thought all phone watches were expensive as hell.
They are. They really, really are.
And pointless.
Yeah.
I remember when I wanted one.
Yeah. Well, it's not a phone watch. It's more of a companion to your smartphone. So it's less of a phone watch per se.
So it's like your phone's friend.
Basically, it pairs with your phone rather. It pairs with your phone rather than being its sort of own standalone device, which is not a bad thing because, frankly, I've had a standalone phone watch and they are clunky as hell and I hate it so much.
Yeah.
Android Auto, so Android in the car. I think this is to combat Apple's CarPlay. So this is basically the strange thing was I thought it would be like sort of like you'd have proper phone hardware in the car and you use it like that, but I think it's basically just a screen in the car which is able to sort of run something off your Android phone because you have to have a wired connection from your phone to the car. Something that'll just run off your phone's hardware, which is nice. But this also the main draw for this is also that you'll get a personalized experience. So say you and your friend both have a car that's compatible with Android Auto. You'll be able to...
Yeah.
Why have I got a... I just grabbed a random thing off my desk. I've got a network card in my hand, because why the hell not? Let's just put that back down. What was I saying? So say you and your friend both have Android Auto cars. You take your phone in, you can get all of your preferences set up just as if you were in your own car, which is really, really nice. It puts the main things front and center, so you've got your navigation, which is obviously through Google Maps, your calls, which will go through your phone, messages, again through your phone, and then music, which is play music. So that's pretty nice. Fully voice enabled, of course, so you don't have to take your hands off the wheel. And then you've got... What was I going to say? I don't remember now. I've totally forgotten. It's an open SDK, so external people can develop apps for the car. So there'll obviously be competition for the main ones. Yeah. Just trying to find my train of thought.
Just not
right.
Long.
Here's the most pointless part of the whole conference. Android TV. Android TV is the most pointless thing because they have the Chromecast. Oh crap. Wait a minute. I'm getting 0 kilobits per second. Oh, I think my internet's just literally... Well, I can't have died because you're still here. Wait a minute.
The connection's slowly dropping.
Yeah, it's dwindling. It's dwindling.
This time it isn't my fault. Oh.
S, not A, you idiot.
That's for everyone.
Oh, no, there we go. OBS is back. Okay.
Anyway,
carry on. Most pointless thing in the whole conference, Android TV, because they have the Chromecast. So it does something similar to what the Xbox One does, in the fact that... I just noticed they came up with an internet connection problem on the stream. Okay.
I'm golf clapping it.
So it's got...
It needs a golf clap.
Yeah. So it's got similar functionality to the Xbox One, whereby you can put your HDMI cables in for things like your cable boxes, and it'll get TV guides and program information from Google, which is nice. The way it orders applications is... It'll order them by usage. So say you use Netflix a lot, then it'll put that at the top. Rather than having, say, alphabetical order, so you have to keep scrolling through, trying to find what you need to find. Similar to what Google does, like if you search for a show, let's try searching for Game of Thrones. So similar to what it does on the desktop, you'll have your search results, you'll have where to watch it on Google TV, obviously. You'll have your program information, you'll have your cast members, and related shows. So it'll show all those, you can go in and browse those, so say if I click on him, then it'll show information on him, what he starred in, and so on and so forth. So you can find based by actor and things like that, which is pretty nice. So it'll allow you to easily discover different shows and things. It's pretty cool, but I still think it's pointless. You can play Android games through the TV. Again, pointless. You can control it through Android Wear, which is actually a nice little feature, so you don't have to fumble around for your phone. You can just go, hey, and you can do it from my wrist.
Here you go.
It has casting support, just like the Chromecast, or you could just buy a Chromecast. And all Sony, Sharp, and TP Vision smart TVs will run on Android TV going forward. So that's nice, but I still find it completely pointless. Right, next up. How much more have we got? We haven't got that much left. Wow.
Did we just miss the car one, or did we...
No, we did the car one.
Did we talk about it?
We did the car
one.
one.
I didn't talk about the car one.
We just did the car one.
Right.
Have you even been listening?
I thought we were talking about the Android TV.
We did talk about the Android TV. We talked about the cars beforehand.
Okay.
He doesn't listen. That shows how much he pays attention. Pay attention, there'll be a quiz at the end.
Do I win something?
Okay, next up, they actually started talking about the Chromecast. God, stop lagging, Plux. I heard you, I'm just ignoring you. like you do to me. Chromecast. Google Cast now supports Google Cast apps now visible in the Chromecast app. I swear that was there before. Like you click on it and it'll tell you all the apps that show Chromecast. Wait a minute. I swear they've got that already. If I probably don't have the Chromecast app on my tablet. Wait a minute. I do.
Just wait, everyone. He's going to find it.
There, they do. They do have it. It's in the top there. It's Discover Apps. They have it. Why don't they just... they've already got it. It goes to the Play Store. And you can have a look at the apps for Chromecast. That's just stupid. Oh yeah, we're going to advertise a feature that we've already got. Stupid people.
Hey!
This is pretty neat. New feature allows casting to devices on a different network. So you can... Say your friend comes around. If they wanted to show something on your Chromecast... before, you'd have to fumble around trying to find your Wi-Fi password, give them access to your Wi-Fi network, and then they'd be able to do it. But now they can do it straight from the mobile network. My internet is crapping out like it is nobody's business. Okay. So they'll be able to do it from the mobile network. They'll just have to put a PIN number in. So it's a lot better than having to give out your Wi-Fi credentials all the time. Not that doesn't happen anyway, because anybody who goes around everybody says, "What's your Wi-Fi password?" Backdrop.
That is true.
This is interesting because it's something that'll allow you to pick what kinds of images show up on the Chromecast, because as some of you may know, now on the Chromecast you'll basically get a slideshow of quite pretty images, but with Backdrop it'll allow you to decide which kinds of images, like weather, outside, art, stuff like that. So you can turn those on and off, but you can also pick your own images. So say you've got a family, you can put your family photos on and make your TV the biggest photo frame in the house, is what they called it. Another thing with sort of integrated within Backdrop is you can go to your phone like, okay Google, what's on my Chromecast? And if it's like a picture, like say if it was the Mona Lisa or something like that, it would search up for the Mona Lisa and you'd be able to find out more about it. So it's pretty nice. It's definitely more. It's making the whole experience a lot more cohesive, rather than everything being separated. And finally, as I mentioned earlier, Android device mirroring. So you can send, similar to what AirPlay does, you can send your screen of your Android phone or your tablet up to the TV, so you don't have to use any external guff. Well, it didn't work before anyway. So yeah, Chromecast is getting a lot better, and it still only costs like 30 quid, which is really, really good. Whereas if you wanted to buy an Android TV, you'd have to spend like 500 quid for a new TV. Or just get a Chromecast. I don't get what sort of... The only very small niche that Android TV fills in is if somebody doesn't already have... If they're looking for a new TV, and then I don't know. It's basically if somebody's looking for a TV right here, right now. Because if you're fine with your TV, just get a Chromecast. Just because you might get slightly less functionality, but you'll be able to control it fully through your phone anyway, instead of having to have an on-screen interface. So it's just utterly, utterly ridiculous. Next up, Chromebooks. Ugh. I still don't see the point in Chromebooks. It's another one of those things where I'm like, what kind of purpose does it serve? Because no matter what kind of user you are, you will eventually want to use something offline. Where on a Chromecast, on a Chromebook, you can't really do that. So it's completely baffling. I'm just going to continue through the bloody internet failures. I will, if it's bad, then I'll...
I can hardly hear what you're saying. I'll try to just go,
Right, well, if it's bad on the VOD, then I've got it saving locally anyway, so I'll just edit and re-upload. Sure, seamless experience between Android smartphone and Chromebook. This is similar to what Apple announced at WWDC, where you can have the feature, I think it was called Handoff, whereby you can get sort of your notifications syncing between your phone and your Mac, whereas now it's between your Android device and your Chromebook, which is really, really nice. So obviously that'll allow for syncing of notifications, so if you dismiss it on one, it'll dismiss on the other, which is exactly what we need between Android devices, so why can't they do that? So I don't know whether it'll do the same thing as Handoff with phone calls, whereby you can call from your desktop and sort of use it as a speakerphone. One thing is, which will make the whole Chromebook experience a little bit better, is that you can get Android applications running on the Chromebook, which is strange, but pretty damn cool. So it'll open up a much, much, much bigger software library to the Chromebook, because at the moment it's fairly limited, to say the least. I mean, I don't know whether you'll be able to download them and install them offline, because, I mean, I swear the Chromebooks don't have that much storage. They've got, like, a 4 or 8 gig SSD in them, so they don't have that much storage on them, because they don't really need it, because it'll just be connected to your Wi-Fi anyway, or your mobile network or whatever. And the good thing is the apps will actually have full access to the Chromebook's hardware, so things like the camera. So you'll be able to, like, say you've got Snapchat, and then you'll be able to use your camera on that, or something like that. And then finally, I am running out of breath, so we'll be calling it soon. Google Drive. They're finally integrating Microsoft Office documents into that. Because typically it used to be a case of, like, especially on Android devices, you'd have your Google Docs and Google Sheets and stuff like that, so your Google Drive applications, then you'd have to get Quick Office to edit Office documents, but now you can edit those, and you couldn't do it on desktop, but now you can do it on desktop and on mobile through the Google Docs apps. So that's pretty cool. So basically what you can do is, say you get an email attachment with an Office document, you can edit that through the Google Drive web application, and then email it back to whoever it was. So that's pretty nice. Obviously, I don't think it'll have the same laundry list of features that the Google Drive applications do, because I'm imagining it'll be fairly limited. And enhanced collaboration tools, which is something I've actually been having a look at on here, because there's a new little button up in the corner that says editing. Edits become suggestions. So this one's pretty cool. So you can say, say I wanted to specify the different things here. Sheets, docs, slides, if I wasn't so ham-fisted with my typing. So basically, that'll be like that, and then, say, if David came in, he could put a comment, like, on there, to say what he thinks about that, and then, obviously, the document administrator can say, yes, apply the change, or no, don't apply the change, it'll be taken off. So that's pretty cool. And then, obviously, you've got viewing, which is essentially a preview of the document. It's a bit pointless, because all it does is take all the editing guff off. So yeah, this is all of my notes that we've been talking about today. Shared with one person, I know. So
which I don't have editing privileges.
Oh no, because I nearly added Tom, and obviously you know what Tom does, he just vandalizes the whole document.
Yes, that's Tom in a nutshell.
So, wait a minute, in this, can you change it to can suggest? You can comment, so no, they haven't changed this yet, so it's just edit, comment, and view, not edit, suggest, comment, and view. So yeah, there's much more sort of enhanced collaboration in Google Drive now, which is very, very nice indeed. So, I mean, the collaboration was already really, really good in Google Drive, so it wasn't something that particularly needed improving, but they've done it anyway, and it's pretty nice. And last up, Drive for Work, which makes no difference to me, but I thought the pricing was quite good. It's unlimited storage for $10 per user per month, which is really, really nice. So, I mean, obviously the only reason they're doing that is because it'll stack up with all the money. Especially in bigger businesses, because you'll have like 100 clients, so that's like $1,000 a month just from that one company. So it can be quite lucrative, but it's unlimited storage as well, so I wonder if it'll probably be subjected to fair use guidelines, so say you'll only be allowed like 1 or 2 terabytes or something like that. So, and then you'll start getting told off. So I can't see Google making it truly unlimited, because storage is, although it's cheap, it's not unlimited. But anyway, I want to hear your thoughts, to say what you've thought about the whole thing. Just, I mean, because you didn't see the conference, just from what you've heard today.
So, what do you think I think of it all in a nutshell?
Yeah, just as a whole.
Let me see.
I've knocked my microphone, disaster. There we go. Just hit my hand.
You can't take that seriously. Anyway, I'm just gonna take them from each title. I'll be a few little second, don't worry.
Yeah, sure.
For the Android one, I thought it was good. I thought it was very interesting. I liked what you said about it. It makes me interested about it. Let me see. The Google Play service, one about malware. They should be doing that anyway.
Yeah.
Like, be checking for, like, viruses and everything.
Yeah.
Android Wear sounds interesting, but the thing is, the price is obviously going to be ridiculous.
Expensive.
Android in the car thing,
Mm-hmm.
I just can't wrap my head around that because I'm thinking if it doesn't stop, what's going to happen?
What do you mean if it doesn't stop?
Because the thing is, the last video I saw about it said that it has no brakes, and I was like, if it has no brakes, how's it stopping?
No. It's not the Google self-driving car. It's basically just like it's basically having an Android phone strapped to your car, so you can.
Oh, okay.
So it's like. It's
I meant that one.
No. It's not the self-driving car. No.
Oh, okay. I was like, I was kind of see. I was like, we were told it was that.
No, it's basically like a media center in your car.
Yeah, and Android TV already know my thoughts about that.
Mm-hmm.
You already know my thoughts about that.
Yeah.
Google Chromecast, I thought that was interesting. Chromebook, thought that was interesting. And Google Drive, I thought was good.
Yeah. Well, my thoughts on the whole thing.
I thought there were like know a lot more about them if I can.
Yeah. So my overall thoughts are Android One is interesting. I mean, obviously, it's not going to benefit myself in any way, but the move to try and include more developing markets in getting technology is really the way forward. Android L, I've actually had a little bit of experience with it. I'm going to try and use it for a couple of days or so, because obviously, well, the one major gripe I had with it is that I couldn't root it, but obviously somebody found out how to root it yesterday, I think it was. So it's rooted, and I'm going to give it a good go. See what it's like. So I'll report back next week to see, I'll tell you my overall thoughts on it. What else have we got? The material design stuff is just, it's actually quite nice. I like the way that different elements sort of react. Like, for example, on the notification shade, if you swipe up, it used to just be sort of like a shade where the bottom would just overlap the notifications as it went up, but now it'll sort of push each of the tiles into a stack, and then it'll just dismiss it off the screen, so that's quite nice. Google Play services, it's about time they started doing malware checks, because it happens far too often, and Android's getting a really, really bad reputation for it. And I always forget to talk about this one, the kill switch, which is similar to what Apple's doing, whereby if the phone gets factory reset, you have to log in with the pre-existing iTunes account to unlock the phone again. So it's essentially, you can wipe the phone and it'll become completely useless. So this is their sort of thing against theft. So that's pretty good. Android Wear, it's a step in the right direction when it comes to smartwatches, but they have to drive the price down, because you cannot justify the price of a phone, like a proper smartphone, for a watch. Yeah. Especially something that you're going to have to use your smartphone with anyway. It's completely and utterly pointless having that kind of price on it. When they start driving the price down, I think I'll get my hands on one. Android Auto, I don't know whether it'll be something that will be able to make a move against traffic accidents. Because they said that there's a certain percentage, I think they said something like half of traffic accidents are caused by somebody being on a gadget in the car, and that's what they're trying to solve. So it'll be interesting to see if this will help against that kind of problem. Android TV, I've already said, it's utterly pointless. Get a Chromecast, it'll have slightly less functionality, but it's also a hell of a lot cheaper. And you can use your existing television as long as it's got a HDMI port. Chromecast, I'm loving the new additions to it. It adds much more value to the product as it is, especially the device mirroring. That'll come in very, very handy indeed. Chromebooks, again, I don't really see how they fit into the market, but the addition of the ability to get Android apps on there is going to add a lot more value, due to the fact that it'll open up basically the whole Android library of software to the Chromebook. Obviously, they're going to have to start adjusting apps so they'll work properly with mouse and keyboard. I mean, they work fine with keyboard, just not mouse. Yeah. And then the added collaboration tools in Google Drive, as well as the Office editing, is very, very interesting indeed, and I'm very much a fan of it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all we've got for this week. This has been our little roundup of Google I/O 2014. Last thing to do is thank you all very, very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. See you later.